Today we'll be building an iOS app using Unity, showing the power of AR using an SDK called Kudan. So to get started, we're going to install Kudan, which is an amazing SDK for Unity. Then we're going to create a project inside Unity called AR example Pokemon. I'm just going to hit create. Then once Unity has installed, what we're going to do is we're going to import that package we just downloaded from Kudan.eu. So here I have the Unity package. I'm going to import it. Then I'm just going to import all of these things down into my assets. Once this is installed, we can then just set the display up so it's easier to see things into default. And here we can see Kudan AR, and we're just going to open up the scene. If I can find it, inside samples, then we're going to choose the sample. Then we're going to set our keys. So here we're just going to set our keys, and then we're going to set the bundle identifier as well. Now we have the scene that we opened. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually remove our marker object. You can set a marker to do this, or you can alternatively use markerless. I'm going to show you markerless right now, which uses SLAM-based technology. Then we're going to import our Pokeball. So we're going to actually show the Pokeball in here. So once it's imported, we can then drag it underneath drivers and inside markerless. Then we're going to remove the existing object that's there, and then you can't really see it, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger. So if we change the size, well, that's a little bit too big. I think it's about perfect. We set 10 all around. And then it looks like we need a little bit more rotation potentially in here just to bring the ball back around. So I'm looking at the view kind of backwards right now. And I'm just going to remove the plane that it sits on, as I don't want that to show up when we use our camera in a little bit. So now that I have my Pokeball, I'm going to select shaders, so the colors. So this is an existing object that we've created using Blender that we're going to set up with these various different shaders. So now we should have red, red at the top, black in the middle, and white at the bottom of the sphere. Then what we need to do is actually add some lighting in here. So I'm just going to swizzle this around a little bit so that you can see. But firstly, we just need to add and create some lighting. So we're going to create a lighting object here, and just a directional light. And as you can see, it's just lit up some of the shading work that we did. So we're just going to position this. You might rotate this a little bit around. Make this look a little bit better. So I'm just going to play around. Really right now, I'm just going to play around with whatever looks good with my directional lights. So I'm just going to drag this up and around to see. And I could always zoom in here to make this a little bit easier. And once I've done that, I can then go to build and see what this looks like. So I'm going to choose iOS. I'm going to open my scene, and I'm going to hit build and run. I'm just going to save this now. So I'm just choosing a iOS project. So I'm just going to call this Pokemon Go AR example. If I can spell today. iOS with a small I. And then I'm going to hit build. So my assets are currently building right now. So this is essentially compiling the work that we've done in Unity. And now we're going to open up our Xcode project. So now that we've opened this up, we need to enable Bitcode and set it to no. And then we're just going to build our application for iOS. And once this is built, I can show you what this looks like on my iPad. So now that you've seen that it's built, we're now going to see what this looks like on the iPad. So here you can see we have our sphere, and I can move the iPad around the sphere Pokeball like you can when you play the game Pokemon Go. I hope this is a good tutorial to kind of get you started using QDan. It's a great SDK to use for doing any AR really inside Unity.